So what is going on, everyone? Doozy here, and yesterday we got the official reveal for the Forsaken DLC, which is coming out on September 4th, and it's looking like this is going to be Destiny 2's version of The Taken King, the game that's going to completely change everything around, you know, flip everything on its head, because they showed off tons of new stuff. We got a look at a few of the exotics. They showed off a bunch of the new super abilities, the new enemy race. They talked a little bit about the raid, as well as one of the new locations. Also on top of that, random weapon rolls and armor perks coming back, so there's tons of stuff to talk about. So I guess let's go ahead and get started. So first off, I'm not going to go over every little thing from the reveal, because that would be quite a long video. I'm just going to go over most of the stuff that I thought was really interesting, or the things that stood out to me the most. So first off, they did show off a new enemy race called the Skorn, which they look like a mixture of like mutated Fallen and Hive. There's actually one that looks like a mixture of both Fallen and Hive, but they do look really neat. There's one, you know, it's swinging like this. It honestly looks like a candle that a pirate would have or something, or not a candle, a lantern, I mean. But regardless, it looks really, really neat. There's another one that's wearing like one of the war beast skin, and it's like a sniper or something. They look crazy overall. But besides that, there's also the 7 Barons, which are, I guess, the top dogs of the Scorn. Supposedly they're the worst villains out of all of them, and they're more than likely going to be some of the main bosses in the story that we have to chase, because there actually are things called Baron hunts, and they didn't really give us much information about that, just that it's called Baron hunts. But as the name implies, I guess you have to go out and hunt these guys down. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on to a few of the exotics, because they showed off a few in the actual reveal. So the first one was a rocket launcher. They also showed an auto rifle, a hand cannon, and a sword. So the only one we actually got to see the name of was the rocket launcher, and it's called the Twin Rabbit, and it's made by the same people who make the Jade Rabbit, which I guess the name kind of hints at that. But its exotic perk is called Gravity and Fire. Now I don't know if this is the actual name of the perk or if it's just like a placeholder, but it says that it shoots 2 tracking rockets, 1 void and 1 solar, and the void rocket actually suppresses, while the solar rocket causes damage over time. So that is really interesting right there. That's how exotics should be. You know, they should have these crazy abilities, so I'm honestly really excited to get my hands on this. And they also showed off an exotic hand cannon. We didn't actually get to see it like in first person, but there are a few clips where they're like the hunters carrying it, and you know, you can see it in third person. And a lot of people thought this was actually the Thorn, although I've seen like Bife and people saying that's not the case, because it doesn't quite match up with the lore. Although he did say it could be a weapon of sorrow, so it could relate to that somehow, but that whatever it is, it looks pretty sick. And then also there was a clip around the 2-minute 50-second mark where it looks like it could possibly be the exotic auto rifle, but the only thing is when we first saw the exotic auto rifle, it was in the energy slot, but in the clip we saw, he was holding it in his primary. But with the new weapon system, you can actually switch things around, although I don't know if you can with exotics, so that's why I'm not too sure about this. But regardless, the auto rifle he is holding does look pretty fancy, so it could possibly be an exotic. I'm just not going to say for sure. But then after that, we actually get to see the sword. Unfortunately, it's not in first person again. You can see it like on the Titan's back, and you know, you can see them carrying it in third person. Although there is one clip at the very end where this Titan, he's in the air and he does like this slash, and it looks like it sends out a mini Nova bomb, I guess you could say. So it's looking like it could be pretty interesting. Hopefully it actually lives up to an exotic sword type, such as the, you know, the Raised Lighter and the Dark Drinker and those from Destiny 1. And also hopefully it can carry more sword ammo, because I mean, we can hardly carry any sword ammo in Destiny 2. So hopefully they fix that for it, because I mean, it does look really neat. And then there's another clip I want to point out that I'm not sure about these. I'm not going to say these are 100% exotics, but it has all 3 of the classes like standing in a circle, and one of them are holding a bow, and then there's another one that's holding an auto rifle. Now the reason I think these could possibly be exotics is because I think it's the hunter, he's holding the exotic hand cannon, so there is a chance these other 2 could be exotics. And plus the auto rifle, it looks like it has 3 barrel types, although that could just be the weapon design, but just thought I would point that out, just maybe y'all can speculate about that. And another thing to point out, there was a little snippet of some exotic warlock boots. We don't know the names of them or the perks or anything. It just kind of popped up on screen. I think it was around like 8 minutes and 30 seconds, somewhere around there. So that confirms we are getting some new exotic warlock boots. And then lastly, one thing I want to point out as well, it looks like around the 8-minute and 45-second mark, what could possibly be a new trace rifle. Although once again, I'm not 100% sure. It's just what it looks like. So just take it as you will. Then after that, we have some of the new super abilities and subclass trees. So they actually showed off almost all of these. The only one I didn't see was the new Void Titan. But you know, they started off by showing the Solar Hunter, which has like these explosive knives, and it looks kind of like Freddy Krueger in a way, you know, holding those knives in his hands. He like spins around and throws them out. It looks pretty neat, I'm not gonna lie. And then after that, they showed the Solar Titan. So he gets like this giant hammer, and it's similar to the one from Rise of Iron, and you can like slam it on the ground and it sends like a solar wave out, which then turns into like a solar tornado, so it looks pretty crazy. And then they kind of showed like a little teaser of the Arc Hunter. It's not really too much, but you can see like he's deflecting these things that are shot at him. It kind of reminds me of the sword ability in Destiny 1, where if you had that certain artifact, you could deflect rockets and, you know, supers and all that. But then they also showed off the Void Warlock, where it's like teleporting around, I guess, not really necessarily blink, but, you know, he's like hopping from point to point, and then he does like this weird area of effect attack where it looks like he goes, I guess, Super Saiyan, and there's just like an explosion around him. And then right after that, they actually showed off the Arc Warlock, and basically he's shooting a laser beam out of his hand. I guess he's pulling off a one-handed Kamehameha. At least that's what it kind of looks like. But then they showed off the Void Hunter, so it's called Shadow Mark. It actually showed it in the bottom left-hand corner, so we actually know the name for one of these. And basically, it's the Void version of the Blade Dancer from Destiny 1, although when he actually activates his super, it looks like he pulls out, I guess, 2 Quick Fang swords in both of his hands. And actually, when he lands and starts to run, it even runs the same way as the Quick Fang, so I guess Night Stalker Hunter got even better. But anyways, moving on, we also saw a clip for the Arc Titan. Now, I don't really know how to explain this one. It basically just looks like Death from Above from Destiny 1. Although there was one part where he like kind of like torpedoes through the air and then does Death from Above. So I'm not too sure what that could possibly be, but looks neat. And then lastly, the one we got a little teaser of that we actually didn't get to see what it does is the new Solar Warlock ability. So basically all he did was put his sword down in the ground, it looked like. So maybe this will give us like some type of buff or something along the lines of that. I'm not too sure. But yeah, that was basically it for the supers. Like I said, I don't think I saw anything from the Void Titan in that, so we don't really have any ideas as to what that could be. But they also showed off the new Gambit Mode, which is a mixture of PvE and PvP. So basically PvEvP, I guess. And you know, they said where you kill enemies and you pick up the motes and then you bank the motes, and once you do that enough, it'll send a blocker to the other side. And what this does, it locks their bank to where they can't deposit any motes or anything. And so then of course they have to kill that guy, that way they can deposit more motes. And then once you actually fill up your bank enough, you're going to summon a Primeval, I think is what it said. And then once you kill that, the round is over. Although the interesting thing is that one player can go back and forth to each side and, you know, kind of cause havoc over there, try to kill the players, and, you know, kind of make them struggle to slow them down a little bit. So this does sound really, really fun. And I think people are going to get to play this at E3 as well as Guardian Con, so maybe they'll get some good feedback on that and, you know, see what all needs to change, or, you know, how fun it is and all that. But anyways, moving on, after that they talked a little bit about the raid, not too much, but the most important thing is they said they're going back to the epic adventure, and they said there's going to be more bosses than ever before. So if you think back to Destiny 1, King's Fall had the most boss encounters. Some people would say that it had 4 if you include the sisters, although technically that's not a raid boss, and even one of the people at Bungie said that. So it's really kind of up in the air as to how many bosses there could be. There could be 4, maybe 5, who knows, maybe even 10, I don't know. But regardless, more raid bosses are always a good thing. And also on Twitter, they actually confirmed that it's actual raid bosses, not like, you know, encounters like in the Leviathan where you have to do these puzzles or whatever. He said actual bosses that are trying to come after you and your team, so I'm all for that. But then as for where the raid takes place, it revolves around the Dreaming City, which kind of has like this fantasy, you know, Lord of the Rings type look. Although at the same time, when I first saw it, I thought it looked like Alfheim from God of War, because some of the structures and everything they have look almost identical. But regardless, I do think this looks amazing. I've always wanted big places like this in Destiny, and, you know, they said there's all kinds of like collectibles and, you know, hidden things for us to find here, so I cannot wait to explore this. And then also, one of the interesting things is that they said the raiders can actually change the way the destination looks. So the way this place is going to look when you first visit, it won't be the same, you know, 2 or 3 months down the line, which does sound really interesting. I wonder how that's going to work, really. Like, maybe it'll open up new places for us to go, or something. I have no idea, but it sounds cool. But then on to the big one that a lot of people are really happy about, the random weapon rolls, as well as the weapon slot changes, and also armor perks. So it has been confirmed, random weapon rolls are coming back, which is what a lot of the community wanted, and also as well as the armor perks. Although, hopefully, they're going to be good perks. Like, I really, really want them to bring back some Destiny 1 weapon perks, like Hidden Hand, maybe Rifle Barrel, Feeding Frenzy, Luck in the Chamber, let's see, Third Eye, or maybe even something like Icarus. You know, some of those perks that were really, really good, because some of the perks in Destiny 2 aren't all that exciting. Although, who knows, they could add some new ones, which I really hope is the case as well. And then also, as far as the armor perks, I really hope they bring back things that, you know, they can allow us to carry more, like, say, sniper ammo or rocket ammo, as well as some of the other bonuses we got where you could have, like, increased armor when using a Void, Arc, or Solar subclass. You know, little things like that, because the perks that they showed on one piece of armor, It wasn't too exciting in my opinion. I mean, it was like when you're in the Dreaming City, deal more damage to enemies, and there was also, for some reason, one that said when you're in the Dreaming City, you take more damage, which I don't understand. I mean, I don't know why you would want to hinder yourself with armor. But anyways, besides that, they also showcased the new weapon slots. So if you want, you can stick with the Destiny 2 system, or you could go back to the Destiny 1 system and use a sniper or a shotgun or fusion rifle in your secondary slot. And they also said if you want to be a madman, you can run around with 3 shotguns, which, alright. Although honestly, I would say there's going to be some kind of like drawback to that, because of course you would be insanely OP running around with shotguns and fusion rifles and all that. So I doubt we'll get to do things like, you know, triple fusions or triple rockets even. Honestly, I don't even want double rockets. That would be pretty annoying. But hopefully they'll have a way to like balance out the ammo for that. But anyway, speaking of weapons, we also get a new bow weapon. And they said there are going to be 3 types. So a short, medium, and long range bow. And also they said they can be used tactically, because there was one scene where it looked like the warlock shot, you know, a bow to the wall. And it looked like it acted as a lightning grenade, because when the boss got close to it, it kind of sent out this like shock towards him. So that would be pretty neat if you could like shoot these on the wall and like wait for people to run by, and it'll deal some damage to them or something. That would be pretty neat. But then lastly, one of the things that I thought was pretty interesting that they mentioned was the new Masterwork System. Now, he didn't really go too in depth about this. He just said that you're going to be able to move your levels up over time, and it also brings investment back on weapons. So the only thing I thought of was maybe it's going to be kind of similar to the exotic catalyst we have now. Like maybe we'll get a masterwork on that weapon and we'll have to, you know, do some challenges to upgrade it again or something along the lines of that. But we really don't know a lot because, like I said, he only mentioned that one little line about it. So I guess let me know what you guys think. But anyways, overall, I thought this reveal was honestly really exciting, and I hope that it can live up to its expectations. I mean, there were a lot of promising things that they shown. You know, the new location looks great. The new supers look really fun. The raid going back to its epic adventure with even more bosses. I mean, that's just awesome all around. And also, you know, I'm really excited that they're bringing random weapon rolls back, but at the same time, I'm a little nervous as to how it'll play out. Like, if they don't bring back some of the perks from Destiny 1, because like I mentioned, a lot of the perks from Destiny 2 aren't all that exciting. And same goes for the armor perks. You know, I'd really like to see some of the perks from Destiny 1 return along with some new stuff. But I really like this reveal, and I hope that it can save Destiny and get it to where it should be. And even though I'm really hyped about playing this, I'm still going to try to remain, you know, somewhat skeptical, I guess, and wait till we can actually get our hands on with it, because I don't want to set my expectations too high like I did for the Destiny 2 launch, but we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, anyways guys, let me know what you thought about the reveal and what has you the most excited. As well, if you plan on picking this up, or if you're going to hold off till people get a chance to play it and some of the reviews come out to decide if you're going to buy it. But anyways, that about wraps it up for this video. So as always, I would like to thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And if you did enjoy, if you could take a second to leave a thumbs up on the video, I'd really appreciate it. And also subscribe if you're new here. And I guess until next time, I will catch you all later.